What's going on, guys? I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Paulo, and for the last 10 years, I've been thinking about business. I've been thinking about entrepreneurship, and I've been executing it to the best of my abilities. So let me give you a breakdown. 2016, I was in a corporate job, and since I'm spending most of my time in my professional world, I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to do something with that time. And whether or not it made a lot of money, I wanted to have the freedom to pursue something bigger than just myself. Since I was allotting most of that time to my job, I was like, hey, how about I spend some time in figuring out what exactly it is that I want to be doing, So I was working corporate IT and working in the field and stuff like that. And I talked to the most senior person. I was like, hey, you've been here since you graduated high school. You're about to retire. What does that look like? What is like the salary that I should be expecting? What is the outcome that I should be expecting from this? The outcome that he told me was that he was retiring, making about 80 grand a year, has benefits, is putting his kids through college, and he lived out of the state. So I'm in Massachusetts, he was living in Rhode Island, and the cost of living there is a lot lower than in Massachusetts. So he was getting paid a reasonable salary, living below his means, getting his kids through college and stuff like that. And I was like, that's awesome. However, for me, I thought it was a little bit limiting. I'm like, man, I see myself doing so much more beyond just working this job and paying bills, and that would be it. For me, it didn't sit well with me, and it didn't satisfy something in me. And so I was like, listen, this is great for a lot of people, great for the opportunity that it provides. However, it's not for me. So I started looking what options there are and what I wanted to do. And I knew I had a talent for IT, for tech stuff. I was also great with people. And that's when I started looking at entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a little bit different than just being a business owner. I knew I needed a business. I knew that I needed to venture into something that would allow me to create something that reflected me the most. That journey started in about 2016. 2016, almost a decade ago. I was young, naive, and curious. Most of all, curious about how I was going to get out of where I was and project myself into a path that I would find meaning in. Entrepreneurship, business, all those things sounded good, but I didn't go to college. I tried to go to college. I got a full ride scholarship to college, but it didn't work out. So I got some certifications after that, and I did some IT certifications and got more experience in the field. Once I had that experience, it was good for my career, but it didn't teach me anything about entrepreneurship. I did have some leadership training, got to go to leadership camp, a leadership program, and I did 5 years of that, and I'm super thankful for that. So I had some background in leadership and about creating a different path that nobody has ever done before. And I was really excited to be able to grab both of those worlds, the leadership world, the IT world, everything that I've learned so far in life, and apply it to something new. And that was when I created something called Truly Unlimited, and that's the business that I'm running today. That's where my entrepreneurial journey really took off. In 2012, that's when I started doing things on the side. That's when I started offering services to people, because I had skills and talents and services that I was providing that people were looking for. And so I was just providing those services for a cost. And the name of that business was called PB Unlimited, which is me, Paulo Becerra Unlimited. Paulo Becerra Unlimited was basically a way for me to make some money on the side. And I was offering everything: web design, IT consulting, computer repair, laptop repair, cell phone repair, electronics repair in general. I was selling devices, I was selling computers and cell phones, and I was just trying to, that was basically my side hustle. But I didn't know what to do with it. I was just trying to make some more money. As a kid, I was 15 or 16 at the time, just trying to make some more money on the side. Probably like 16, around there. When I was 14, that's when I got my first certification. 14, 15 is when I got my first certification. I remember it being 2012, but where exactly that landed, I don't remember on top of my head. That was PB Unlimited, just doing services on the side. And then 2016, I was like, listen, I want to do something that is going to project me into a journey for the rest of my life. So if we read in, I think it is the Money Quadrant, one of the books of Robert Kiyosaki, if that's how you pronounce his name, he has a money quadrant. And one of the quadrants is that you're trading your time for money, okay? And that falls under self-employment. That's also falls under employment. Like people with careers and stuff, that's what you're doing. You're trading your time for money. In business, you're basically getting a business model, and you are either recreating it or making it better and making it your own. And you are then taking that to the market. That is a business. You have a proven service or a proven product, and you're grabbing that, going to the market, and that is basically your business. There's a difference between entrepreneurship, business owner, self-employed. All of these things are all different, right? And a great book to read on this stuff, Business of the 21st Century, for sure. If you are thinking about taking a leap into something different in your life, is definitely Third Circle Theory by Pejman Ghadimi. Those books were things that I've read multiple times, not only before I started my business, but also after. And I still continue reading it to this day. In fact, I just ordered the second book because it's actually over there. I ordered the second book because the first book really solidified the thinking that I had, or the mindset that I needed to have in order for me to start. And Third Circle Theory really helped me frame things and put things into perspective in a way that would have taken me years to figure out. Where when I'm reading it now, when I reread it now, I'm still learning from it, because when I first read it, I wasn't even started, and so everything was brand new. And now that I've been in business and in my entrepreneurial journey for so long, when I read it now, I see it from a different lens, and it's still accurate, it's still relevant, and every time I read it, I learn something new, and it helps me guide my mind to what is important and what needs my attention right now. That's the incredible thing about that book. And then the second book is basically, how do you apply it to your business, and how do you expand your business? So the second book is actually really important now for me, because I am now in the space where I am expanding and where I am trying to reach a higher goal, where before I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to get this business up and going. And now that I have the business up and going and I have things in place, I want to get to the next level. We went from negative 100 all the way to zero. And it took me 10 years to get to zero, or almost 10 years. And then I feel like I'm at zero now. And from here is where I'm gonna see if I can get to 100. But what happens after, from 0 to 100? That's when the real story begins. Catch it in part 2, which is coming out very shortly. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You'll get notified when I go live. Currently editing this behind me, and I hope you guys like the production. It's only gonna get better.